Akane Banashi is a new anime currently airing on YouTube, and you can watch it for free right now. 6 episodes currently aired. This is my first contender. My first contender, guys, for best anime of 2026. It's just that good. I freaking love it. It's warm, it's fuzzy, it's full of passionate drive. I freaking love the main character, Akane. She's great, she's awesome. This show is just kind of perfect. It's based on a manga by Yuki Suenaga, and it's about this young girl, Akane, who is obsessed. She is very passionate and obsessed with Rakugo. Now, what the hell is Rakugo, Passion? Rakugo is an old Japanese performative art from a long, long time ago that features a compendium of sorts of very old stories that have been passed down orally for generations through this art form. It's kind of like stand-up comedy, you could almost say. The goal is to make your audience laugh more often than not. There are some dramatic stories, but normally they're meant to be comical. And it's a one-person act. Instead of standing up in front of a live audience, you've got somebody in a kimono sitting on a pillow in front of a live audience. And it's basically, these stories are basically like plays, except it's all performed by this one person, this one performer. And it's meant to make the audience laugh, but there's a lot that goes into it. It is a very intense performative art that involves playing all these different characters, being able to change the tempo and tone of your voice and your expressions and all these gestures you have to do, and it has to be convincing, it has to be authentic. And there's a lot that goes into it. So then we've got this anime that basically puts this performative art, which can also be very competitive, through the lens of a shonen anime. And it's much like martial arts. You have a master, you have students, you have schools that are just for Rakugo. This is the art of Rakugo. And Akane's father is a Rakugo performer. In the very first episode, we get a pilot that's all about the backstory of Akane's love for Rakugo, and it comes from her father, who she would watch and mimic and imitate. She loves her father's passion for Rakugo, and it was infectious and inspirational to her. And unfortunately, he gets devastated when a judge expels him and all of his peers in a Rakugo test that basically shatters his goals of becoming a Rakugo master and taking it to the, as a future career. So Akane and her mom, they're crushed, and it just leaves him sort of disgraced. He ends up having to get a job selling concrete so that the family can still, put food on the table, because Rakugo, as you can imagine, like many art forms of this type, isn't really the kind of career you chase for money. And so if you're not doing well, especially, and you're not making it, it's just not going to cut it. So poor Akane is crushed, but she doesn't give up. It only drives her passion for Rakugo further. She wants to grow up to be a Rakugo master. She wants to find this judge and stick it to him with her talents, and she wants to carry on what her father couldn't. And that is the plot of the show. 6 years later, she's in high school. She is rigorously training from the same master that taught her father, and she wants to excel. She wants to prove to this judge he didn't deserve to be expelled, and she wants to know why he was expelled. So it's almost like a revenge story in a way, because she really wants to make up for the lost honor that, her disgraced father. And it's great. There's so much warmth and tenderness, especially in that first episode, just like seeing how Akane took after her father and picked up his talent is just really beautiful. And the show carries that on. Her school teacher doesn't understand it. She is very icy and cold towards Rakugo as a career path and is trying to get her away from it. And she tries to convince her, come to my performance, come to one of my performances, and I can prove to you, this is a passion. This is not something that is just being done on a whim, and she's got to win her over, because, not everybody believes in Rakugo. Even though this old art form in Japan, it was once this big popular thing, it's kind of fallen out of favor and kind of become obscure and niche, especially among younger generations. We live in a time of media and smartphones and video games. A person sitting on a pillow in front of a live audience just doesn't cut it necessarily anymore the way it might have years ago. So there's this drive, both in real life and in this show, to keep Rakugo alive, to keep this old tradition, as quaint as it may seem, alive, because it is such a performative thing. It is so powerful, and it can do so much with so little, you know? Telling these incredible stories that make people laugh and feel just from this one person on this stage. So it has all of that, like it carries it really well, and it's doing it through the lens again of shonen anime, which means there are training episodes where Akane has to learn things like attentiveness, gauging her audience, reading people and reading the room, and trying to figure out like what kind of audience am I dealing with? Are these young people? Are these older people? And there's one episode where she's actually sent to a bar to wait tables and stuff so that she can learn attentiveness and learn that from a different perspective, you know, because even though she is very talented, maybe even more so than her father, she has a long way to go, you know, like any shonen story. She has to train, she has to learn from other masters. And of course, the show has other masters and Rakugo teachers that she comes across that are interesting and eccentric and have their own techniques and styles. And even though Rakugo is all about telling these same stories over and over again, they don't make new ones. It's just this old compendium of stories. They have to find new ways to tell them, put their own new spin and style on them, and that's part of the Rakugo art. So she has to learn more and more of her own style, you know? And it's really cool to watch. It's really entertaining. It doesn't necessarily sound it when you consider what Rakugo is, but that's, you know, one of the wonders of anime is how it can heighten everything, emotions, feelings, visuals, and direction to make everything more exciting, and really get you to understand like the core components of not only Rakugo, but everything that goes into it. So yeah, this show handles all of that beautifully. Great direction, great visuals, lots of funny and entertaining expressions, both on stage and off, and all the characters are wonderful. Like I said, I love Akane. She's lovable right from the start because she's just got that passionate drive. She believes in what she wants to do, and she doesn't care, you know, if it's like some big money-making career. She wants to do it because she loves it, you know, and her father loved it. And it's a lot of fun. It's a very inspirational kind of show, and it's only 6 episodes in, and it's won me over. So, very excited to see more, and I highly recommend it. Now, I have seen an older show. I already knew about Rakugo going into this because there was an older anime that came out, period piece, called Showa Genroku Rakugo, which deals with 2 rival Rakugo artists learning to be Rakugo artists. I want to say 1930s Japan or something like that, a long time ago. Really good story, really good Rakugo story, and it comes in 2 seasons. The second season is like set further into the present, so it deals with like how Rakugo changes over the generations and all kinds of stuff. That's more of a drama, but it is a great anime, and I do recommend it. But I think this is going to be more accessible as an introduction to Rakugo for anime fans. I think this, because it's through this shonen lens, and it has all of that, the last episode I watched is already teasing a tournament. So there's going to be a tournament, and there's going to be competitions with all these different Rakugo artists, and that's going to be really fun to watch. It has all that going on, so I feel like this, if Rakugo didn't already like take off more among young anime viewers as a subject matter, as something that maybe should be rekindled more, then this might do more for the art form itself than any anime that's come before it. As far as I know, this is the first Rakugo shonen show, so good on you guys. Good on you, anime. You're bringing light to what could be considered a dying art form by some, but clearly not if this show exists. So, very exciting. Yeah, great stuff. Now, I realize this is the first time in a while that I've made a video. It's been over a month. I just moved to a new town. I'm getting settled in. A lot's happened. So I will be going back to regular video creation, you know, more often. And I'm in a better setup now, so it really helps. I'm also back on Twitch. I'm doing live streams again. Every Monday night, Wednesday night, and Friday night from 5 to 10, you can find me on Twitch under the same username, Passion9, the Otaku Flame. And yeah, all weebs welcome. Come join me. Tomorrow night I'm going to be streaming Pragmata, Capcom's new action game. It's going to be fun. So yeah, Great stuff. And that's about it. That's all I got to say. And as always, guys, you get to burning and live for the passion.